I've had a couple experiences with energy today on a personal level that is really hard to explain to people who base their understanding of spirituality and energy on what they've just read about in books or heard other people talk about. Mostly, people think that how do I even explain this? Okay, for example, my son and his partner were down in the kitchen making lunch, like just something to eat or whatever. And the partner wanted dino chicken nuggets. Okay. And then my son wanted to make ramen with an egg. And the way he wanted to prepare the egg was with a little bit of oil, like olive oil in a cup with some salt in the microwave. He likes his eggs a little bit runny. Well, the partner was completely grossed out by this, right? The texture of it, the thought of it, all of it. And it was like, well, it's his food. He can eat it. Well, some people, they can't stand to even be around it. It's a texture thing. So in society, we consider that just the way that our brain processes stuff, and we can experience it so vividly inside ourselves that it grosses out, and we can't be around someone we don't allow other people to enjoy things based off of how it affects us. It's not a negative thing. It just is what it is. But what people don't understand is when you're an energy feeler, which my son's partner doesn't want to go into any of that energy stuff, and I respect it, but he couldn't stop reacting to it. He was having violent reactions to this. And I was like, you need to disconnect from the egg and the ramen. And that doesn't really make sense to him. And I was like, you need to disconnect from it. You need to disconnect from it. But the reason I say disconnect from it, because it's like this. Hold on, let me show you. So if this is the egg and the ramen, let's say this is any texture, okay? And if you're a feeler, your tentacles to process information wrap around something and become whatever that thing is. So if it is something that has a no touch reaction, you will feel it going through your whole body, and it's not a conducive to your energy field, and it will make you have violent twitching. People don't know that, so they don't know to disconnect. Now, in order to disconnect from something as a feeler, you would call back your feelers, because sometimes they can appear as tentacles, sometimes they're more like hair, sometimes they're more like tendrils, not necessarily tentacles, but like strings, tendrils kind of things. Sometimes they're even teeth. It's a different energetic form of yourself. And it's the way that your energy body is outside of your body connected to. And I think people think of humans as the physical and a soul as like this light body. But no, there's way more to it. And if you can figure out how to pull your energy back from something as to not let it bother you, you actually really empower yourself instead of making it someone else's problem because they're eating something or saying something or feeling something that makes you feel very uncomfortable. It's, you would just say this, which is, Spirit, if it's in my highest good, please pull my feelers back, cleanse and purify them, and return them to me at this time. You're going to feel yourself. Yeah, it feels a lot better. Your tentacles are out feeling everything. If you're someone who has to feel the energy of a room to make sure that you're doing everything correctly, your feelers don't know the difference. And if it's something that you have an issue with texture-wise, you're going to feel it just by proximity. And people might think you're crazy, but you can feel it vividly in you and on you, and it can drive you nuts. But again, instead of making it someone else's issue for them to stop doing what they're doing, you can pull your energy tentacles back. Clean them off, okay? So that's the first part. The next thing I want to go into is kind of like a side note to that. A lot of people think that as a quote unquote empath, when they go like into a grocery store, they can feel everybody's emotions, and it makes it so uncomfortable they can't go anywhere anymore. Why would you want a debilitating life like that? Why would you want it to where you can't go somewhere? So it's that same thing, that same concept of bringing your tentacles in, cleaning them off, and then putting up a shield. Also, breaking soul contracts like this. Please release all soul contracts connected to me being an energetic sponge in order to, energetic sponge that are no longer my highest good. Whew, that's a good release. Okay, part number 3. There's another phrase that I use quite often, which is, Spirit, if it's in my highest good, please set my shielding to keep out what does not serve me, but allow light, dark, healing, and justice to penetrate when I say so. Okay. And then another one that's really good for this is, please allow me to access my spiritual abilities to their highest potency, but be conducive to my human form. There you go. You have a lot of natural spiritual abilities that just run through you, and they make you who you are. Some of it was from trauma, some of it is just from past lives, and some of it is just part of your energetic spiritual skill set. But figuring out how to, if you think of your energy body and your human body as a machine, you how would I put this? If someone put you in front of an old school printing press and said, print me out 100 newspapers, would you know where to begin? Doesn't mean that that machine is broken. It even could be one that you operated in a past life. But if you didn't know how to work that machinery anymore, you would be lost. That's what happens to us. That's why I call myself an IT tech for humans, is because I like to go in and help people figure out how their machine works and how to gain clarity on it and how to put it back in a way that is conducive to them. And sometimes that's as simple as saying, Spirit, if it's in my highest good, please upgrade my operating system in a way that's conducive to how I operate. There we go. A lot more things could get done, and we could have a lot more control of ourselves if we figure out how our own machine works, how our own energy works. If we're a seer or a feeler or a knower, what does that mean? How do we put ourselves in control of that? What do our mannerisms mean? Why do we hold our pen the way we do? Why do we write the way we do? Why do we talk the way we do? And these things that we've had to correct about ourselves because other people told us it was wrong. Why did we naturally do those things the way that we did them? It's not wrong. It's just gaining knowledge, awareness, and empowering yourself with it again. I think I'll do another part. The other thing that happened to me today was my 5-year-old normally around 12 to 2 o'clock, whenever that is, I can cuddle with her for a little bit in my bed, and she'll stay asleep for about an hour or so. And I can she goes to sleep pretty fast, and I can get up and do things. I don't mind laying down with her for a bit. I can just hang out on my phone or whatever, or read a book if I wanted to, which I don't normally. I'm usually on my phone, but she falls asleep quite quickly. Well, there's a disarray of energy. There's a lot of weirdness going on in my house. My eldest has their partner over. My 9-year-old, just came home from a sleepover, so they entered the house right at that time. Ben isn't here. He is in between Texas and here on a layover. He was supposed to be here today with his kids. That didn't happen. There's this weird standstill energy in the house, like a pocket. And she can feel it. She knows that something's weird. So she is also in a waiting stage. It was driving me nuts because I couldn't I felt trapped and stuck in the bed. And I don't know if you're a parent that has ever laid down with your child, but it can be infuriating when they refuse to go to sleep and you are on their time waiting for them. Going to that energy feeling thing, it hurts. It physically hurts, and it like pulls at your heart, your mind, your anxiety. So the first thing that I do with that is I tell Casey Ray to let go of my tentacles, because she's holding on to me, and energetically I am feeling all of her anxiety. So she lets go of them. I pull them back to me. That's the first thing. And then I have to assess the situation. It's not going to work out with me laying in bed with her this time. It just isn't. So then I have to figure out, am I going to go, will she go to sleep on her own, or should I just even bother with a nap? Maybe it's not necessary. She was really frustrated. She needs a nap. It's exhausting her energetically. So I made the decision to leave her in my bed, which I don't normally do, close the door and come upstairs. Yeah, she's going to cry a little bit. So I pulled my tentacles back so I didn't feel involved and tangled in that again. And now I can hear she is sleeping. And when I was first a parent, I didn't do it that way. I used to get really mad and aggravated and end up yelling and throwing things sometimes. But I've learned how to process energy. Next part. It's one of the main reasons that I have learned to process energy the way that I have and help others figure out how they process energy, is to have sanity and sanctity inside yourself and in your home. You'll hear lots of like spiritual practitioners talk about, well, maybe not practitioners. There's a lot of spiritual people that talk about they don't want to be here anymore on earth, or that they feel like they belong somewhere else. I love being here. I think being alive is awesome. I'm not worried about sickness or broken bones, or I'm not worried about getting aggravated or trauma. I know how to heal it. I know what to do. I know if it's inner child. I know if it's past life. I know if it's just part of my machine that needs a tune-up or needs to be upgraded. I have figured it out. And if I don't know, I have people like Kate, who I talk about a lot. And she can help me figure it out. She can help me see things that I'm not able to see because I'm too close to the subject. And I do that for her as well. It makes life a lot better. And that part of energy healing, that understanding about your machine, that's the part I don't understand why more people aren't into. That's the part that, like, even if you don't want to do trauma work or past life work or whatever, why the fuck would you want to be trapped inside your body and energy and stuff happening to you instead of you being in control of it? Why would you want that? I hated not being in control of my emotions. I hated feeling stuck. I hated feeling like my life wasn't my own. Yeah, I loved taking my life back, and I love being alive now. I love this app. I love my kids. I love my friend group. I love my partner that I have now. I love my job, because I've figured out how my machine works. And I know it's like loving your favorite coffee pot. Once you know how it works, when you first get it, you might have forgotten, but you love your coffee a certain way with a certain creamer and a certain flavor, and you love your specific little gadget. That's my energy body. That's my life. That's how everything works and operates. Why would you not want to figure that out? You know? Anyway, that's what I help people with. And I rambled a bit here, but I hope you got something out of it and want to look further into how your operating system works so you can love your life again. Okay, bye.